Medjimurje is one of the most important wine regions in Croatia, and it has a range of absolutely fantastic wines. Some of the wineries are amazing. But bloody hell, can you pronounce the wines? Look at this one. Sremčnjak. Smerčnjak. Smerčnjak. Is that right? Is that right? Smerčnjak. Huh?
Smrečnjak.
Smrečnjak. Bloody hell, give me a beer. I first heard about the town of Čakovec in Medjimurje up in northern Croatia many years ago when those Pharrell Williams Happy videos first came out. It was the first one that actually came out about Croatia, and I'd never heard of Čakovec. I saw such an incredibly vibrant community. It seemed like a lovely sort of historic family-oriented place, and it all stuck with me. I was always fascinated by it until I first visited a few years ago. And many, many years later, I come back to Čakovec with that still feeling of it being a safe, friendly, family-oriented destination. And we're here today in Čakovec. We're going to go around and I'm going to show you why Čakovec is a very underrated, fantastic family foodie weekend getaway from Zagreb and beyond. Let's go and see a Čakovec that you know nothing about. One of the places I really love about Čakovec, and I come here every time, is the wonderful Mamas and Tapas. And it's a really chilled out bar with great food in the front. But then you come around the back and you find this cheeky little bar at the back, and they have a range of beers, and they have also then various different specials that are guest beers and so on. And here we are on the Nova Runda. And in the evening they have concerts and stuff. So tonight there's going to be a jazz night. Again, just a really good vibe within Čakovec. One of the things I love about walking around Croatian towns is just the randomness of it. And here we have a true British legend, David Bowie. Here he was here in Čakovec on the 5th of September 1990. Why, you ask? Very interesting story. He was going from his concert in Budapest down to the next concert in Zagreb. He was hungry. There were rumours that there was a Chinese restaurant in Čakovec. It's actually the first ever Chinese restaurant in Croatia, apparently. And so he popped in for a Chinese on his way down to Zagreb. Now the restaurant is no longer there, but the Chinese influence continues. Come and meet a lady who has swapped China for Čakovec.
Hi everybody, I'm Shasha Tsui. I come from China. I'm a musician, I'm a violinist and singer. I have been living in Croatia, Čakovec for 9 years. I come here because of love. Here I built a very beautiful family as a city girl who grew up in China. Here, the lifestyle for me really totally different. I'm very enjoying living here.
You're doing a great job.
Thank you very much indeed. And tell me about your dog. Without doubt, the most prominent building in Čakovec is the Zrinski Castle right behind me, which dates back to the 16th century and has an incredible museum also inside. We'll go and take a look. Zrinski is probably one of the most important names in the history of Croatia, and the Zrinski family was from Čakovec, and this is a symbol really of the geopolitical importance of Čakovec in days gone by. One of the things that becomes quickly apparent in Čakovec, Medjimurje, is it's a very small region which is full of traditions and things passed down from the ancestors. And you have a really big feel of it being a place that you have a lot of artisans and so on. And inside Zrinski Castle there's a really excellent museum. And for kids, supremely educational, very interactive, looking at all the traditions and the history of this really interesting region. And there are some quite quirky things too. For example, we have at the carnival, or the Fashion Week every year, they have this tradition of pikač, which is these quite incredible suits which are made from straw. You can see behind how they do it, and I'm very, very honoured that they've actually got one in my size. But I'll try and get into that later, but we'll see. I think the museum's super interesting. It's full of tiny little warrens and little rooms for the kids to go and explore, like a real sort of treasure hunt. And then it's got this fantastic cafe. Here we are, with just super surroundings, just to relax for the parents. There's a terrace outside, and as a museum experience, I have to say, pretty good. Cheers. Čakovec has some very interesting places for breakfast. I've been here a couple of times, and I always come to Beška. It's got a really super outside space. It's a very quirky little place, and the breakfast is pretty good. I first came to Medjimurje about 10 years ago on a foodie press trip with legendica Karen Mimica from Rijeka, and we had an amazing time, but the absolute highlight was a visit to Mala Hiza, which is a premier restaurant just outside Cakovec, which has been in the Michelin Guide for 7 years running, going for the 8th year this year. Has some really, really interesting dishes from different types of meat. It's very much linked to the hunting tradition around here. And it's just beautifully done, beautifully decorated. And today we have Medjimurje, like wild garlic soup. I mean, just look at this. And then we'll see what comes to the main course. But it's just tradition, it's just quality, it's local products. It's like 7 years in the Michelin Guide has got to say something. It's one of the places I actually drove out of Zagreb for lunch a few years ago, because it's that good. Dobrotek. This is one of the best mistranslations I've ever come across. It translates as Middle Earth moving cake in some quarters. So let's see if the Middle Earth will move for me. So although Čakovec is probably not the best known town in Croatia these days, it does have some quite interesting things from its past. It was always strategically in a very important position coming down from Budapest down to Zagreb, but in 1893 it was the first ever city in Croatia and one of the first in the world with its own public electric grid. And here in Pleternice, just outside, is probably the most unbelievable thing I've ever heard about Croatia. The world's first commercial oil drilling took place here in Medjimurje in Pleternice in 1856, a full 3 years before Drake, Pennsylvania, which is often credited as the original place. And not only that, but if you go to the Drava River, very close by, they had a tradition of gold panning, which dated back generations. And indeed, about 10 years ago, I was fortunate to be with the last surviving gold panner, a guy called Mate Horvat, who was 94 at the time. He died 4 years later. And this is grainy footage, but this is him doing the gold panning, as was just a few years ago, and these tours are also available. So if you're here with kids in Čakovec, the educational opportunities of just really some quite quirky things are there. So there we go, a really interesting piece of Croatian history.
I have found the beautiful boys of Medjimurje, Lepi dečki.
Pozdrav, dobrodošli u pivovaru Lepi dečki. Mi smo locirani u Čakovcu. Postojimo kao pivovara od 2016. Danas u portfoliju imamo 5 lagera i nekih 10-ak elova kao stalna piva.
This is very exciting to me. We're in Lake Drava in Prelog, and this dish in front of me, which is not all for me, we're sharing, is one of the most interesting dishes I've had in my time in Croatia, and this is only the third time I've ever seen it. It's called chips od šarana, carp chips, and with a special sauce. And honestly, I find these addictive. Let's see how the Medjimurje variety measures up. Pretty good.
If you look at Čakovec, the town, which is the main town in Medjimurje, and then also then the actual county itself. It's the smallest county in the whole of Croatia, but it really does have a great vibe for safety, nature, lifestyle, great food. It's one of the most interesting wine regions in Croatia, so you can actually go around and visit all the wineries. If you're into adventure tourism, cycling, for example, this is one of the best destinations for cycling in all of Croatia as well. They have wellness in Sveti Martin. But also there's so many open spaces for kids to enjoy. We're here at Lake Drava in Prelog, and this is a great open space. The season hasn't started yet, but there's a really nice little vibe already. Restaurants, bars, weekend houses, boats for hire, the swans all around. It's just a great place to run around and chill. There's a fantastic museum called Međimurska priroda, Medjimurje Nature, which really is one of the best interactive museums I've seen in Croatia in terms of exploring nature and so on.
And so here it is, it's 5 o'clock, we've had a really good day. We've explored not only Čakovec but also the wider region of Medjimurje, and it's just very relaxed, very safe, big pedestrian zone, lots to see and do, great nature all around. The food's been amazing, it's one of the best wine regions in Croatia. The beer's not bad, only joking, this is, it's been one of the highlights really. And for somewhere to come and explore off the radar for a weekend, if you're into food, wine, activities or families, Čakovec is something very much under the radar, and I'll give you a very strong recommendation. We've had a great time.